Vietnam. I just love saying that.
Right? I'm guilty. I think anybody who ever sat in front of a mic, if you've done it for an extended period of time, you've done that.
Yeah. God, I just. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm better than I deserve. How are you?
Good. I think just like before the show, the 30 seconds we talked, that's the most we probably have ever talked. So this is gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
Hanging out with you today. Yeah.
Hey, who does? Is that stock music on the intro?
No.
What is that?
Because it's the song's called Pain and Gain. It's by Ethan so and so. Anyway, so I belong to the Universal Music Creators Group, and so you can reach out to them, and then they can tell you like, yeah, you can use it, or no, I want part of the things or whatever.
Well, I just want to learn how to play it. I think I can play that. It's called Pain. What is it?
Pain and Gain.
You know what? I'm all about pain, so that's perfect.
Yeah, but we would still. So like, even if you do your own copy of it, because then there's there's another license that you can get for using.
Want to do it in my bedroom with the door shut.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
It sounds like a good groove, you know.
Yeah, but I have some other music, and then one of our viewers sent me a song that we could use too, and then I did some AI music that's really cool too.
I heard it. Tommy let me hear. I was like, no way. That was savage.
Listen to like there's like in the breaks, like there's cool little breaks that where it drops down and there's like it's real music. It's not just like,
isn't that a little scary though?
Super scary. So like say I already know what you're gonna say, right? Like a band could just have them write hits.
Well, I'm not sure if this is true, but I was told that we've been listening to AI music for a decade. I heard that AI has been creating music, and then real bands are taking what AI has created and making it theirs. But AI is creating a lot of what we're listening to.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I miss live music.
I do too. But I mean, as long as we're enjoying the music and it feels a certain way, then it's okay. But having said that, there's the 80s are gone, the 70s are gone, and that's never going to come back.
You know what? I hated the 80s music during the 80s.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was terrible. I don't know why, but
you mean like new wave or like hair band?
Everything, all of it. Not so much hair band, but new wave. But now looking back on it, it was all great. It was an amazing decade.
Dude, the new wave music, I wasn't really into it either. I was in a speed metal band, so I was like anti everything.
Right.
But
anti everything.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm excited about this. You know, the weird thing about doing these, Tommy and I, he has the full, like he has the crime knowledge and he has the legal knowledge. I was a criminal, but I was very blessed. I got caught, a couple of small things, but I never went to prison. So I don't really have the knowledge of the legal system, nowhere like you guys do. You guys are brilliant with that. And I feel like it's a different language, you know that. So really, I feel like, I'm just half of it I get, and the other half it's like I don't.
Yeah. Do you want to do the like a roll call and say hi to everyone?
Yeah, go ahead. Listen, let's go for it. I don't want to step on your toes. So
I really suck at it, but I'm going to do it.
All right. Well, okay, go for it.
Okay. Or unless you want to do it, you probably know everybody.
Yeah, I know a bunch. Let's see. We got Jeremy.
Yeah, why don't you go for it today? Yeah.
Very good to see you, Jeremy. We got Marcy Pokles and Pocas. Good to see you, Kathy Wood. Look at this. Heather Rhodes, Sid Green, Katrina. Good to see you, Robin Bliss. Katrina, did things get weird for you during the storm? Just got to ask, because I had a friend named Katrina, and when that storm happened, she didn't hear the end of it. But it's very good to see you. I am Johnny. Are you wearing Tommy's hat? Trying to trick us. You know what? I am wearing the hat because it was his idea. Right before he walked out, he's hurting still. He's still not 100%, but he's getting close. Cherry LeBrun, good to see you. Lady Lumber, nice to see you. Lisa Hill. I think I saw Lisa Trimble here too. Very good to see you. Paula. We got Typer Mama, Anna Banana, Cooler by the Lake, Yvette. Tan Louise, we got Tan Louis, we got a bunch of great people here. Do me a favor, you guys. I never do this. I'm guilty like Tommy. I never ask people to hit the like button, but could you guys do me a favor? Love Mama Bear. Good to see you. Please hit the like button. You guys know why we do that, right? It's sort of silly, but we're pulling a fast one on YouTube's algorithm. It's not the brightest. And if everybody hits the like button, everybody starts throwing comments in, it's a lot of engagement real quick. And you know what happens? The algorithm is sitting around going, and it goes.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's Casper. Is that with Tommy? No, it's his brother. What's going on over there? And they start pushing out to other people, and more people will see this. So it's true. A bunch of comments. Have fun in the comment section, and let's all like this thing.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
And it's also, if we start using like the T word, like not the bad T word, but like our president T word, in like the first 2 minutes, it gets shoved down.
You know, and it's true. And any word like that, there's a whole bunch of words in the beginning. You got to watch out for that. And once you get a little bit into it, they kind of relax a little bit. But it's a strange thing. There are words you can't say. And if you ever go, I'm sure you've been on different platforms, Casper. Like I have a channel on a different platform.
Really?
Yeah, on Rumble I have a channel. And if you go to Rumble, all you got to do is go to Rumble and read the titles of videos. You don't even need to watch them. Just by the titles and the thumbnails, you can go, oh, it's free speech over here. Yeah, it's a completely different thing. And there are words here you can't say that you can get away with over there. But, you got to play within the rules, It's how
is it over on Rumble? Is there a big audience over there?
Boy, it's slow growing, man. I'm really torn. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing it, because essentially what I do is when I do a video on YouTube, I just upload the same video on Rumble.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a glacier pace, man. It really is. And starting with YouTube, it was slow. It took me 3 months to get the first 100 subscribers.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Really, it was just, when I started my channel, there were probably, and I'm not exaggerating here, like maybe a dozen channels on the entire platform about chilies and hot peppers and sauce. That was it. So it was just, nobody was really into it. And so it just was really slow going. And then it took me probably another 4 or 5 months to get 1,000. But, once you have to have unwavering belief in yourself and it'll work. But I think I'm going to throw in the towel on Rumble. It sounds silly, but just the time that it takes for me to upload it, I'm not getting the engagement. And the truth of it is, I love my audience here on YouTube. I love them. We've gone through hell together. How when you click on, you see a comment, there's a little icon. If you hover over it, it tells you if they're a subscriber or not. Yeah. I get comments. I'll hover over it, and they've been 7 years. They've been a subscriber. I'm blown away by that. You know what I mean? And so we've gone through a lot, and I just don't know if I have it in me to do that again on a different channel. I thought I did.
I didn't know you could do that. You can hover over like if you're in the studio.
Yeah, in the studio. In fact, I don't know if you can do it from your cell phone. I do it from my laptop. I don't think you can do it from your cell phone. You just hover the icon over the little red. On mine, it's a little red. Hover over it, and it'll tell you exactly when they're subscriber. Now, there are some people, they have their subscriber hidden.
Okay.
Or privatized or something, and you can't see who they subscribe to. So.
Oh, got you. But
it's really funny. I was watching videos on YouTube for years before I ever subscribed to anything. And, I've done some public speaking, not as much as Tommy, but if you've ever in an audience and someone says, see a show of hands, you want to be a part. You're a part of it. That's how it's etiquette for if you're watching a public speaker. Well, there's etiquette when you watch a video, and if you like the video, you don't tip them. You can't put money in their pocket, but if you just hit the like button, that shows your appreciation. And all that engagement does is helps promote the channel, So I watched channels for a long time. I watched it for a long time. The first channel I ever subscribed to was LA Beast.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's a savage. But and now every time I watch a video, if I like it, I like it. I give him, and if I don't like it, I'll never even do a downvote. It's the silliest thing in the world. But what people don't realize is a downvote or an upvote, YouTube doesn't care. To them, it's engagement. They see it the same. So if somebody gives a downvote, I'm like, no, I don't care. Now they don't even show that. They used to show how many downvotes you have on a video.
Oh, yeah.
Now they don't. They show you how many upvotes you have, but they won't show you the downvotes. And they used to show you that. I don't know why they did away with that, but
that's where, I mean, we can see it in studio. Obviously, that, but
here's a great question. Fowler asks, Casper, are you going to do memberships for this channel?
Yep, absolutely. And then we'll like I have memberships on Legal Livewire, but I don't do any membership content yet, but I'm going to have to start since somebody gifted me a bunch of memberships. Cool. And so I've never had memberships before. So I've never done content. So I don't want it to be for naught, so I'm going to, on my Legal Livewire, do membership content, but for here, we'll definitely do membership content and it'll be vicious. It'll be like something really worth paying for. Cool. Almost like if you were going to go over to, what's that one, that you can play content that's not on your channel.
Like,
Patreon.
Patreon. Yep. You know what? Yeah. I started a Patreon the day I started my Chase the Heat. I never did anything on it.
Oh, really?
I probably should have. Well, at the time, I felt guilty expecting people to pay for it. So what I have a membership on mine, and I think there's like 250 videos that nobody's ever seen on the regular channel. And what I think I'm going to start doing is, and this is a great thing I haven't done, is just give them content early. In other words, if I can do a challenge, do it live for the people that have a membership, and a week later offer it to everybody else. Do it that way. But as is now, I just offer unique content that they don't see elsewhere. But I think it's a good thing.
I think if we start doing interviews, so like what we would do, we would pre-record an interview and then we would show it on the morning show, but then we would have the outtakes that we couldn't show on YouTube over on like in a membership thing that we're not monetizing the video.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then, there could be swearing, not that we just want to swear for no reason, but like, or maybe stories that are, that have violence in them, say we're, someone's telling their life story and there's violence, whatever.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Robin Bliss says, I'm getting too old for new platforms. First of all, nonsense.
Yeah.
You're not too old, but I totally get what you're saying. I really do. I've been,
it's a lot of energy.
It is. And it's almost like a relationship. Oh, we're going to do it again. I got to do the whole thing all over again. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm too old for that. I get it. I've been, my channel is closing on a decade. So I totally feel you, Robin. Honestly, I do.
Wow. That's amazing. I never watched YouTube, granted I was in prison for most of YouTube, being alive, but I was out for 6 years before I even watched YouTube. And then when I started watching YouTube, it took me about a year before I decided, hey, I want to start a channel. And then I got monetized. I got monetized quick, man, with my legal channel. But there's just a huge audience for it. That's why,
For sure. By the way, I want to tell you something. And it's so cool that we haven't had a real conversation first.
Oh, yeah.
I love you, man. I want to tell you something. I mean this. Thank you for being there with my bro. Because listen, it's hell. It's a nightmare. And the bond you guys have, the bond that I have, about the way I am with Tommy.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys went through that, it's almost like, I don't know, it's an instant bond. I'd dive on a grenade for you. That was some hard stuff you guys went through.
I appreciate that.
No, and it means the world to me. It's like anybody through a time like that. It's crazy. It's like it's a hard thing to even explain. But more than I can't wait to give you a hug. And I appreciate you guys.
Same, brother. Same. Yep. I appreciate you too.
Squat. I was on the outside
too,
doing nothing, but the fact that you guys went through that, man, the way he talks about you, you know what I mean? It's a big deal. So
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Same. Yeah.
I'd love to, you know, when we're not on here, I got a bunch of questions I'd love to ask you. You know what I mean? But
oh yeah. Cool.
Here we go. This is a great comment. Long time watch, first time commenter. What you guys do?
So gay.
Fan. That's too funny.
That is funny.
Robin Bliss says, "Call your Patreon channel your OnlyFans channel and get more traffic." Right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I thought about doing an OnlyFans channel for my cat and do have like sultry music and cool angles for pictures. I don't know if people would go for it.
Is that a Doc Martin boot on your shirt?
No, you know what this is? It's a company called the company that makes the boot is Carolina Boot, but this logo is for Harvest 912. It's a mission out of Erie, Pennsylvania, and it's a really cool thing. They give boots and essentials to unhoused people, homeless folks.
Oh wow!
Of which about 80% of them are military. And they asked me years ago if I would be their national spokesperson, and I said, "Oh wow, a heartbeat." Yeah, so I did it. I jumped at the chance, and it's just they're really good people, and it's kind of probably the highlight of what I do. I mean, I eat peppers. I mean, I'm like seriously, I don't like telling people. I mean, I have to snicker at it. I'm like one rung on the ladder up from the guy that bites heads off of chickens at the circus. I mean, do you know how embarrassing it is? Like when people are like, "What do you do?" I'm a content creator. I try to leave it at that.
Oh, really? What do you create?
But it's the silliest thing in the whole world. It is, though. But
I don't like talking about it.
It is. The harvest thing is a beautiful thing that is substance, and it really is beautiful. Listen, Casper, I was going to the Philippines. It was I went there a couple times. I think it was the first trip I went over there.
You ever had Dinagawan?
What is it?
Dinagawan.
No.
It's they cut the nickname for it's chocolate meat. It's like you've had it. You've had it. If you've been over there, you've had it.
I don't know. I might have. Yeah. I love the place. The food there is crazy. But my first trip over, and it's a long flight, and on those real long flights, they give you 3 meals. They want to keep everybody happy. After like 6 or 7 hours on a flight, people start getting testy. So they really treat you well. I'm on the plane with there was a Asian girl sitting next to me. She was cute as can be. We started talking. Uh-huh. We're talking really well before the plane even takes off. And as we're taking off, but they haven't even had our first meal yet. And I'm kind of leaning this way and she's kind of leaning this way. So our feet are kind of moved. We're talking to each other. It's going great. And she says to me, "So you know how it works? Is it personal? Are you traveling for business?" And I went, "Well, kind of both." "What do you do?" And I'm like, instantly I'm going, "Well, here we go." And I swear to you, I'm not making this up. We were clicking. It's not like anything's going to happen. We're on a flight. I'm never going to see it. Yeah. Still, everything was going well. So I said, "Well, I'm a YouTuber." This is before I learned to say content creator. She goes, "You're a YouTuber." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What do you do?"
Did she say it like that?
No, she goes, "What do you do?" And I went, "I eat peppers and spicy stuff." And this is what happened to our feet. They went,
yeah.
She didn't say, and then the breakfast came to us, or it was lunch because of the way we took off. I swear to you, the only thing she said to me for the remainder of that flight was, "I need to use the restroom." And I got up and let her get by me. She didn't say another word to me. So, I mean,
wow.
Look, when I was married, when I started my channel, I told my wife I was going to start a YouTube channel. She says to me, "What are you, 13? That's what I think. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'd rather say a content.
That was creator. Then, though. That was
then. Yeah, but still, what do you think the average age of a content creator is on this platform, bro?
Oh, probably 28. Yeah, the average. So there's lots of.
But for the space that I'm in, I'm like Gandalf the White of like the pepper industry, man.
Seriously. But you can use that to your advantage. You know what I mean?
I'm trying. I listen. all of it's been by accident. You need to know that, but things have the whole thing has been startling. I mean, things have happened. It was all by accident, but I've gone so much further than I ever thought. I mean, I thought I was just going to eat some peppers and see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
I was in a Netflix special, which was crazy. Right. I was in that the Hulu reality show. That was kind of cool. So, you know, I've been around the world a few times, and all of it was, you know, honest to God, I'm the accidental YouTuber. And my kid, my middle son, he was, I don't know, he's like maybe 13 years old. He comes to his mom says, you got to talk to him. He wants to be a YouTuber. So I'm like, dude, you're not going to be a YouTuber. It's not a real job. You're going to go to school. You're going to get a degree, and we're going to figure out what you like along the way. You know, so doors, you don't know what it is now, but I swear to you, it's going to unfold and you'll see what you want to do, but it's not going to be YouTube. That's not a real job.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm a YouTuber. It's bizarre, you know, it really is.
Yeah. You know, I see, there's some like younger YouTubers, like, you know, I don't even know why this old man's even on YouTube when they're like competition of theirs. That's the first thing they'll say. So like, there's some YouTubers that do like pranks and stuff like that. And like, you know, like we'll just go out and party and like vlog their partying.
Right.
And then when there's like an old guy that's like part of that, like a crew, and, you know, and then that guy's doing, you know, TikToks, you know, for money, you know, I'm thinking of someone specifically, but then it's creepy. But we're talking about news, you know, and we're talking about grown-up stuff. And our community are grown-ups. So,
well, you guys bring such a unique, I think it's brilliant, man. But both of you, what you guys have done, and to me, it's so smart. You've figured out a way to make your past, which, you know, your resume.
Yeah.
Taken, golly, dude, can I tell you how brilliant that is? To be able to take something negative and turn it into such a positive thing and help others. And I'm telling you, that is, honest to God, it's brilliant. And you're made for it. You know, the camera loves you. You almost got, you know what? Seriously, you almost got like a Christopher Walken thing going on a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's my favorite actor of all time. So
he's pretty great, dude.
Yeah. That's my favorite actor of all time. What's that?
What's your favorite movie with him in it?
Oh, I would say Deer Hunter, or
that's a great one.
Or At Close Range. At Close Range is my all-time favorite movie, period, because he's with Sean Penn in that.
Have you seen all of his movies?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, there's one movie, I do not know the name of it, but it's crazy. There's a movie where at the end, it's a military flick. He's wounded. He's on this mound, and he said he's talking to, like, on a walkie-talkie to the guy, and he says, "Bring it in on my smoke," and he lights up a flare, and he brings the bomb. What is that? That
give me a
movie
minute.
is sick. I've seen it, but I don't know the name of it. I remember just like, wow, that was heavy.
Yeah. I'll have it by the time we are done today.
Hang on one split sec.
How is the chat doing? How's everybody doing today? Thanks for coming out to the court video I played last night. That was pretty awesome. Thank you so much. I like what
this cat is working me over.
Thank you, Robin. What's that?
The cat is just, honest to God. I mean, it's a beautiful creature, and I love her, but
my cat doesn't come in. I have a cat that's my cat, and her name's Kiwi. And once I leave this room, she's like all over me. She follows me everywhere, but to get her to come in here,
she stays away when you're working.
Yeah, she does, man. She's a trip. One time she tried to come through the window because it was too cold, and her window that she comes in and out of was closed. But she did. She came in and like ran right out. She doesn't. I think all the wires, because like underneath all of this, there's just tons of wires, and I think she's afraid to get into the mix of it all.
Where'd you acquire all your knowledge, dude? Like editing and everything else you do, because that's
editing self-taught. It's self-taught within the last 6 months.
You're kidding me.
And then, but I've been, I don't know if you heard my story, but I was a systems engineer for Microsoft. And I did that. And before that, I was a systems engineer for AT&T. And then Microsoft, then I was on this big job. And it's so funny. I go into this computer lab and there's all these guys standing around this one PC. And I'm like the vice president of operation of Great Western Bank before they were bought out by Washington Mutual. They're all standing around this PC. And I come in to see my friend. He was a Cisco systems engineer. I went in there to see if he wanted to have lunch. And so they're all standing around this PC. He's like, man, I can't do lunch today. I was like, why? He's like, we're releasing all these PCs to all the presidents of each retail banking branch. They call it RBD, Retail Banking Division. So each president of each retail branch is getting their own PC to have at their desk. And they have to have all these documents. He's like, on this PC, the document opens up from a right click, but we can't get all the other PCs to do it. And we've been working on this for 2 days. And I just I walk up and I know the vice president of Washington Mutual. He's this Indian guy named Vijay Singh. And I've gone out to dinner with him and his wife, right? And he was he's the perfect VJ, just short, pretty heavy set. And his wife was like a gorgeous Indian princess, right? And so I knew VJ. I was like, VJ, what's up? He's like, oh, this thing is so frustrating. No one can figure it out. I literally took a floppy disk, went over there, copied the registry from the one that worked, went to the one that didn't work, plugged it in, integrated that registry, and it was fixed. Took me 2 seconds. The next day, I had a job offer from Microsoft.
How funny. Well, for 2 days, they sat around staring at it.
Yeah.
A floppy disk. What's that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what?
And,
when Tommy and I were kids, there was a guy in the town that we grew up that was one of the financial backers for, I think it was for Apple when they first started. One of the silent financial backers for Apple. He paid to have a computer. There was a computer in our school. It looked like a phone booth. It was the biggest thing you ever saw. And it only did 2 things. It played a space game or flying game where you would shoot at something, but it was like the most unbelievable graphics that were horrible. And then there was a game where you could play the stock market, where you could buy futures and
nice.
And I was in like 5th grade, and that was the game that I was playing. But and you get 5 minutes a day on it. It was only one computer, but it was huge. And now it's like that was like, I'm old, dude. How old are you?
I'm 56.
It's great. I feel bad. I don't feel so bad. I'm still a little older than you, but remember there was no computers anywhere, man.
No, there was no computers. The first interaction I had with a computer, I was 16 and then had no interaction with a computer until I was 24.
That's kind of like me. I took BASIC. Remember BASIC?
Oh yeah, Visual Basic and Visual Basic. Yeah.
It was it was Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code is what that stood for. And I took that in school, and then I didn't touch a computer again, just like you, for a long time.
Yeah.
But now it's like, God, everything has changed so much. I'm hanging on. I'm like white knuckling it when it comes to technology. I'm a dummy, dude. Seriously. When I started my channel, everything at the time was people were editing everything. And I don't edit. I mean, raw, dude. Listen, every single video I've ever made's got mistakes in them. I don't care. I do one take. It's one and done, baby. I'm finished with it. And I wasn't trying to be cutting edge or anything or trendy. I just don't know how to edit. Not only that, with peppers, if I eat a pepper and then it cuts to something else, they're like, he didn't really eat that pepper. You know what I mean? That if you can't be it's got to be seamless for the content that I do. Now everything has gone away from the high editing. There's usually a bookend stuff beginning at the end, but as far as lots of editing in the middle, they've gotten away from that. But it's just because I don't know how to do that. I mean, it's a wicked good skill. I wish I was better at it.
Oh man, I love it, man. Like I just love it. There's like the intro for this show.
Oh my God! Listen, the intro for this and Tommy's. I looked at Tommy. I sat in for him the other day. He was just got to push the button, and then it automatically happens. And at the end, it automatically happens. I was like, brilliant. I feel like I was sitting in a news studio or something.
His intro took me probably 10 hours. The intro for this show took me like 4 hours, 5 hours. And that's like of steady editing. Yeah. If I showed you like the edit, like timeline of all the different things, like just one thing flying in, making a sound and sparking away, that's like 12 different things that have to happen. And then the animation of it, like there has to be a path curve, and there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. Yeah,
man, you lost me. I will tell you this though, it's gorgeous. They look so professional. They really do.
Cool, man.
KP they're fun. In AZ says, Casper, you mentioned on one of the other shows that you make T-shirts. How can we order those? And do you do custom ones?
Yes to all of that. I'm doing the place where we can order them. I'm gonna do that in the next couple of days. I do have my own website that's called tatswag.shop, but I wasn't able to afford the Shopify fee last month, so it's not up and running. When I get my taxes in a few days, all that's going to be up and running again. I'm in a weird transition of retiring from tattooing and gonna just do this full time and just take a pay cut until things take off or they don't take off. All I know is that I'm ready to retire. I'm about to have back surgery.
What are you having?
I have 2 discs that are sliding back like this. It's called spondylus whatever. I meet with the neurosurgeon on the 20th to find out exactly what they're going to do. So I really don't know what they're doing. Right. Yeah.
You'll be all right. Yeah. I've had, they're a bummer, man. I've had a bunch of them. Casper, it's amazing to know that the editing knowledge came so recently. You're amazing at it, says Anna Banana. And you know what? Listen, she's right. It's the truth.
Yeah.
You're good at it.
I am in marriage counseling because of it. I'm not even joking. Yeah.
I chuckled at first. Now I wish I hadn't chuckled.
No, you can laugh. I'm laughing. My wife laughs at it, but I spent a lot of time on the computer, and my wife was thinking that I was just avoiding spending time with her, and that's not the case. So we're trying to figure all that out, but that's just her trauma coming through. And I'm only talking about that because I know she would share that with everyone.
Right.
She's about to start her own channel where she is going to share like her life with everyone. With her and her best friend who lives in Vegas. So they're going to do like a little something, but
that's a wonderful thing. I'm glad she's doing that. It'll give her. It's a good thing. I'm encouraging it for her mental health and for her to understand what I'm going through. Exactly. You guys are good, for sure. It'll be a good thing. And you know what? There's a cathartic sort of therapeutic benefit. I don't know if you get it from it, but I'm telling you, the other day I was not feeling good. Not just physically, I was kind of feeling punky. I thought I was getting sick, and I was emotionally kind of not in it, wasn't feeling it. And pushed that button, and the light went red. And within 15 minutes, all of a sudden, I was feeling better. When it was over, I felt a lot better. So I think there's something that, it's a good thing. And you know what? It goes back to what we say on the Lifeboat all the time. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to the Lifeboat, do that. It's connection. There's a Lifeboat. Yeah, the connection. It's everything. I've learned that from this community. I've learned that because I don't have a big connection with my community on Legal Livewire. I could have. But you have to really stay in all the comments. It's not live stuff. If you look at my Legal Livewire channel, I did do lives in the beginning. But I never had more than 4 or 5 people show up, and that was usually just them telling me, hey, get rid of the intro. We just want to watch the core. It was just them to complain to management, and I was just like, yeah, it wasn't to hang out to talk about the case. I know how that is. You know what? Here's the thing, though. You can't let that get to you because there's always going to be that. You know, the first 8 I did mostly, I would say 90% of, I would say 80% of the content on my channel are just videos.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have 7,200 videos on the channel.
Wow.
And, yeah, it's a lot. And I wish, you know, when I started, there was long form was not a thing. Nobody was doing it. So it wasn't even something, it wasn't even on the radar. And, you know, so what I do 10 to 15 minutes per video, I eat something, tell you what it's like, and it's a wrap. And I started doing it. I kind of tell you, I'd way rather do live. It's so much more fun. You know what I mean? There's a connection when you do a video, there's still a connection. You know, I'm talking to them and they leave comments and I comment back. I mean, the first 5,000 comments that came in, I responded to every one of them. And then it got out of control. I was like, well, I can either, you know, respond to comments or I can make videos. I can't do them both, you know, but the connection that I feel that, and I, you know, it's strengthened so much and feels so much,
so I have
so much greater with the live, you know?
Yeah. So I haven't used it recently because I've been doing more live stuff, but I have an extension that you can put in your browser, either Chrome or Edge or whatever. And it's it'll go through your comments. It'll list them it'll give them categories, all the categories that are in that comment section. It'll rate them all and it will, generate a reply that you can agree to send, and it'll give you a whole summary on all your comments.
Where is this?
It's in my browser, and so I'll send you a link to it.
Is that built into Google? Was it through Google or what is it?
No, it's a third party.
Wow.
It was all part of my, because I have to record so many court hearings. Like I'm recording all kinds of stuff right now. Like over there, I'm recording, or you can't see it with this camera, but like over here, I'm recording over here. It's
a command center.
Yeah, but to get court videos that are already have been done, I have another. It's a part of this extension where I can right click. And dude, I've been getting so many calls for timeshares lately. Really? So weird, out of nowhere. Anyway, I can put in a search term like soft sits or child support, and I can search an entire YouTube channel for any instance where anyone has mentioned those terms in any of their videos. Like your channel, like all 7,000 videos, I can find out all the places where someone said Tapatio sucks. You know what I mean?
Okay, you got to do me a favor. The reason I'm interested in this, I have a friend who I'm close with, a buddy of mine for a long time, and he's been working for the last 6 months on that exact project. And I need to tell him to wicked quickly put the brakes on and pivot and go somewhere else because he thinks that it's not out there yet.
Oh, and that's just a lame one. There's ones you can buy that'll search, that do all of YouTube. But there's a dude named Team Skeptic. He wrote his own to do that, and you might need it. He might need it to do something different. So, but yeah, I'll shoot you a link so you can forward it to him so you can see.
Ian Wallace says, Casper, you are a legend of a guy. You deserve a good life, bro. And Johnny, love you, bro. You're wicked. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate
Ian,
that.
thank you so much, brother.
A lot of love.
I wish we could all go have a sweet tea together.
KP and AZ says, "Oh no, Casper. Sorry to hear about your surgery. Prayers for full and speedy recovery. I will definitely order T-shirts when you have things ready to go. I want to
sweet.
Too bad you're not an AZ, right? I need somebody to draw on me. I'm getting a hankering for one."
Well, my wife and I have been talking about moving to Arizona. I have a few friends in Tucson. I have you guys in Tucson, but then Reese said, don't drop the hammer yet. I like the idea you had of a YouTube house.
That'd be amazing.
Man, there's people that do it.
You know what? All I know there is. And the thing about
who does it that he doesn't say he does it is Matthew Cox from Inside True Crime.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense for a whole lot of reasons. It really does, you know.
Thank you, KP and AZ. I appreciate all of that.
By the way, when you have your surgery, you got to pull. The last time I had surgery was for my back, and have fun with this a little bit. When the doctor is going to say to you, he's going to say to you, "Do me a favor, Sam. Count down backwards from 100." You know, and then so when he did it to me, I just said, "I got nothing to say, Warden. Roll him." And he goes, "That's not funny. Count down from 100." I said, "Do what you got to do, Warden. I got nothing to say." And I was just playing. So I wake up. I wake up. Have you ever been knocked out for a surgery?
I was just knocked out like 3 months ago for surgery.
You know when you come to, you got visual, you can see stuff, but you can't process what you're seeing for a little bit.
Right.
It takes a while for your brain to kick on. So I said that to him. I had it planned ahead of time. I was going to say that to him. So I opened my eyes. I'm in the recovery room, but I don't know it yet because I haven't really come to yet. So I open my eyes, and there's a dude sitting in front of me. And I don't really recognize him at first. It's the doctor, but I can't recognize him because I'm not really aware yet. So I'm looking at him, and finally it starts to come back, and I went, oh, I look at him. He is not happy. He waited until he saw the light bulb come on, and he knew I was there. And he said that wasn't funny. And I said, how did the surgery go? He said, it went perfectly. I said, then it was hilarious. I said, come on, man. I said, you're going to tell that at 100 cocktail parties. I promise you. But do that. It's fun. My daughter forgot. She was too nervous. She was going to do that in her last surgery, but she was nervous and forgot. But honestly, it's fun for a couple reasons. You'll have a good time doing it. He won't like it in the moment, or she won't like it, but they'll tell it at a cocktail party, so it's worth it.
I had a bad experience with anesthesia.
No way! Don't tell me. Did you feel it?
It was the day after.
Oh, okay.
It was the day after. Oh no, I didn't feel anything, and it was just a colonoscopy. But
but because I've heard of people, there's a thing called anesthesia awareness.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. It's horrifying. I watched a video clip of a person who they're still in therapy. They had open heart surgery. And there's a bunch of different drugs in the anesthesia. One makes you unconscious. One makes it so you can't move. And one makes it so you can't feel. Well, if they don't do it right, they can give you enough so you can feel everything, but they gave you enough that you can't move, but you can't tell anybody because you can't move. And this person said it was like a 6-hour surgery, and they felt every second of it. And the idea of that happening, come on, man. I've had a good run. It's been fun. I'd rather die than have that happen to me, for real.
Oh yeah,
that scares me, man. In fact, the last surgery I had, the one where I did that, when I said to the doctor, roll him, before it happened, he says to me, I'm telling you a true story. He goes, what kind of music you like? I'm like, what does that matter? Why? He says, well, I want to make sure you can hear it during the surgery. I said, what are you talking about? You hear it. I don't hear anything. He says,
I got a funny story. We'll go ahead.
He says, he goes, I can make it just so you're just under, so you can hear the music. I said, dude, let me tell you something. If I can come out of this and tell you what music you played while it was happening, we're gonna have a fight. I want to be so deep. I want to take 3 days to bring me back. I don't want to hear music. That scares me, man. Seriously, I'd rather have a foggy return than to feel something. It scares me.
So I got in a fight one time, and I destroyed this bone right here, and then the round bone. It's a boxing fracture.
Bone. Yeah, you bet.
And and so I had to get some pins and some screws in the bone. And anyway, so I'm laying there, and I'm looking at the anesthesiologist, and all I hear is, "You can dance if you want to. You can leave your wife behind if your friends don't dance." And I'm hearing that really loud, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "It's men without hats. It's men without hats."
Great song.
Yeah. And so then when I came out, the doctor was like, "Why are you saying it's men without hats?" I was like, "That's the song that was playing." He's like, "Oh, you mean the Dance If You Want To song?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I didn't know that was Men Without Hats." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. How do you not know the music you're playing?
And it's a monster.
It must have been the radio or something. Yeah.
I'm scared of that, man. The whole gave me the creeps. I've had a bunch of surgeries. You know what I mean? My dad woke up. He was getting a tooth pulled, and when they pull a tooth, they got it timed. They give you just enough anesthesia that the doctor's got to work quick, and then you're waking up. They don't have you out any longer than they need to have you out. And they were pulling a tooth, and he woke up. It broke. The tooth broke, so it made it a longer procedure than they wanted it.
Right.
And he woke up while they were trying to get it out, and he said, "As a kid, he told me that story as a kid. So it was like, I'd rather take a beating from a crowd than go to a dentist. You know what I mean? That's why I brush my teeth, and I have great teeth because I'm scared of dentists."
Yeah.
Robert Holt says, "I had 4 spinal surgeries, Casper, and they were all performed by a neurosurgeon. I highly recommend using a neurosurgeon."
And that's what I'm using. So thank you.
Very good. Here's an interesting question from Ian. How do you deal with medication if you're in recovery? Is there things you can and can't take, or is it just different?
So for me, I can't do opiates at all. And
Me either.
The reason being is that I just eat them all. I have no breaks whatsoever when it comes to, I just went through this with my doctor like 4 years ago. So every month I was going to the emergency room, having really bad back pain and spasms. It usually lasted for 3 days, but I'd have to go to the emergency room. They would give me shots of Dilaudid or morphine or whatever they would give me. And they would give me enough for 3 days. I'd always eat them all. So my doctor was like, "Well, look, I'm just going to give you a bottle on hand. That way you don't have to go to the emergency room." And I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll try." And because I love opiates, I would just eat them all and party with them instead of. So now I take a non-opiate drug called buprenorphine. And so that keeps me out of the emergency room. But the thing is, if I was ever in a really bad car accident and they were to give me something for pain, it really wouldn't work unless they gave me like quadruple of what a normal person would take.
Right.
And then that, could suppress your breathing. And so it's really hard. So I think what the neurosurgeon is going to tell me on the 20th is that I'm going to have to cut back on my buprenorphine so they can do something for, I don't know what he's going to say, or the buprenorphine will be enough for after surgery.
Right.
But I have a pretty high pain tolerance.
Yeah, I do. I'm scared. The strongest thing I'll take is an aspirin. I'm scared to death of pain pills. Like I really am.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. Here's a couple interesting things here. Hang on.
I have a couple good stories I need to share too, but we have 2 hours, so
yeah, we got
3 hours or 4 hours.
I don't hear the clock ticking. Marcy says, "Johnny, I got that when they did my." Oh no, she got that when they did my eye. I felt pressure. I was semi-awake. Won't do that again. See? Oh, your eye. I'll kill a doctor. I'm sorry. I'll find out who's responsible, and I'll catch a case. God almighty.
Yeah. My wife does 30 eye surgeries a day. She does 30 eye surgeries a day. So we'll definitely bring her on to one of these days and have her talk about how often that happens, Marcy. That's awesomely crazy.
Lester Crochet says, "When I had surgery, my doctor brought in a CD, and my husband says, 'You ready to jam?' For sure."
That's cool.
Man, yeah, I'm scared of it. You know what? And here's the weird thing. I kind of like, I sort of like pain. That's kind of my get down. So it's not that I'm scared of pain. It's just, I don't know the whole idea of that is frightening to me.
Yeah.
I don't dig it. All right. So I had another question I was going to ask you. And it was a really good one too. It'll come back to me. So let me ask you this: if you're thinking about moving, is that like legit thinking about it, or are you just sort of
legit?
Really? Wow.
Over the snow, like right now, it's 32 below. Yeah, and I grew up in Los Angeles, so I love the sun and heat. Every morning, even when it's not that cold, I sit in front of a heater every morning for like a space heater. I just sit in front of it and just like warm up. I hate it. And I think my wife has never lived anywhere but Montana. she had never been on a plane until like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And so I don't know. I just want to live somewhere else. And I was thinking about Tucson before I reconnected with Tommy. So so it was kind of like it kind of solidified that decision.
I think you'd like it. It's super, super hot, but I mean, I find
I've lived there. I've lived there. Yeah.
Perfect. The older I get, bro, the less tolerance I have for cold weather. I don't like it at all. I mean, I really don't. Lisa Trimble says, semi-awake for cataract surgery so they could ask questions or tell me to do something. See?
What?
Yeah. No, I'm all set, man.
I'm going to have her call. I'm going to have my wife call in during the show between surgeries right now. So we can ask her live.
Here is the little terror that's keeping me awake at night.
Hey, call me when you get a chance. We need to ask you a question about eye surgeries. ASAP. Or when you have a second to call, then that you can spend like 4 minutes with us.
So this is Katie Purry.
Hello, Katie.
She's not even 5 months old yet, and she's over 7 pounds, almost bigger than her sister, who's 4 years old. Jennifer Menton says, I was a collegiate athlete, suffered bad knee injuries, 9 knee surgeries between both knees. I got hooked on opiates for 25 years. I'm 1 year and 1 month sober. Praise Suboxone.
Good job.
Boy, I'm proud of you.
Good job.
Wow. You know what?
I got to find my goat.
Listen to what's so special about that. People don't realize you
get the goat.
Amen.
Greatest of all time. You're the greatest of all time.
I was addicted to dope for years, and the fear of withdrawals. Did you realize if people knew that they could get off without hurting? Do you realize everybody would jump on that? But I've seen some people do the most ratchet things because they were afraid of withdrawal. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you got to remember before Suboxone and really methadone, they didn't give you methadone to detox, but they do with Suboxone. But to detox, if you went into detox from H back in the day, you would get something for diarrhea, something for headaches, something. It was like a cocktail of pills they would give you, and then you would just toss and turn and puke and all the things, and your skin, like on day 2 or 3, your skin becomes real sensitive, and like, you know what I mean? It's like that weird. I
do. I mean, my hair would hurt, my teeth hurt, everything would hurt. The most horrific thing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, here's the crazy thing. God almighty. I remember the first time I was like, I'll never do that again. Ever. You know how many times I kicked dope? 4 or 5, maybe.
Yeah. From a habit. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I'll tell you what though. The last time was the last time. It was 15 years ago. And
That's awesome.
Like,
good job.
When I tell you that I won't take anything stronger than an aspirin, I mean it. I'm not fooling about that. But I will tell you this. I probably took 9 aspirin yesterday throughout the day. I'm serious. I take 3 at a time. My back was really bugging me. So I took 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 3 at night.
I can't take aspirin, and this is why. I get really hardcore deja vu when I take aspirin.
Shut up. Are you serious? What a strange. That's bizarre.
The deja vu is so vivid it makes me nauseous.
How did you make the connection? And are you sure it's the aspirin?
Absolutely. I've done the Pepsi challenge with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Happens when I take aspirin, doesn't happen when I take ibuprofen.
Deja vus are weird. Ibuprofen doesn't.
It brings me to my knees. It brings me to my knees. Yeah, listen. In federal prison, my best friend Danny, when it would happen, I would sit down or I would get on a knee Cause like I'd be on the weight pile or something. I'd be like, whoa. And people are like, whoa, what's up with Casper? And my buddy Danny would be like, oh, he's all right. He's just having deja vu right now.
Wow. So
He would know exactly what would happen. It would be like my whole body would be like.
So when you were taking that, would it be like 2 or 3 times a day or just once in a while?
2 or 3 times a day.
And disruptive enough that it rocks your head. That's crazy.
Yep.
So
and then I would be like, wow, man.
You know what? I used to have a
the universe is crazy, but really it was just aspirin. And what deja vu is, if you clinically, if you were to ask like say a doctor or someone, and what they would tell you deja vu is that your brain just rewinds a millisecond and it replays what you just seen, and so it seems familiar. So you just it's kind of like a glitch, or like
a glitch in the matrix.
Skip a beat
or whatever.
That's what I would feel. But if asprin,
no, you know what? They're weird things. A deja vu. You've heard people say that it's the Matrix. It's just a programming glitch in the Matrix. That's what people say.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I haven't had it.
I've never seen the movie, so yeah,
it's a strange feeling. There's no two ways about it. So I got a question here from. I got a few I'm going to read here. Lisa Trimble says,
"Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Lisa. Where'd you get your goat, dude? She wants one."
Oh, I got it from Amazon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description for the goat, and not so I can make a commission or anything. It's not like that, but I love this little guy. I got this from Law Talk with Mike. He has a goat that he always plays in court hearings. I don't do it on my court channel because I don't want it to seem like I'm ripping him off, but I will do it on my channel just to say, when people are sober, like, you're a goat. You're the goat, the greatest of all time.
You know what? Someone called me a goat. I think the first time somebody called me a goat, like 7 years ago, I didn't know what it meant. I was like, man, they called me a goat. And I was bummed out at first. I thought I was being trolled.
Well, I mean, you have a Billy Goat beard, kind of.
I certainly do, actually. I have some very good news for everybody. Good news and bad news. First of all, Sam, I love you, bro. I mean, I can't wait to give you a hug. You're a good man.
Oh, I know what the good news is. And I know what the bad news is.
The bad news is I'm bouncing.
I love you too, brother, man.
I've enjoyed hanging with all of you. Thank you for the great questions, and thank you for being here. Please like this. Please go to
let's do a show together. Let's do like a whole episode together.
I'm all about it. Just say
on your channel, my channel, whatever. Yeah.
Let's do this. Spread the love.
No, so it's going to happen. It's going to happen real fast. Okay.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you guys to Tommy now, and you're in good hands. But I've enjoyed this thoroughly. Love you guys much, and I've enjoyed this. See you guys soon.
All right. See you too, brother.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
Oh, listen, it was my expressed pleasure.
Look who it is.
Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if
he never quits quitting. Check.
Not looking like it's gonna work. Let me go to my other headphones. Give me 1 second. Because
what about the ones Johnny just had on?
Since Johnny had this going, we're just gonna use the wire. Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. What's happening?
Can you hear me? Yeah. You can, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing?
Good, brother. How are you doing? How you feeling?
Well, I'm. This is since we're a mature audience, we can have this conversation.
Are you talking about poop right now?
When you, this is the thing, man. You're a former, opiate addict. We forget to use the restroom, man.
I'm
not even being funny. It's just been such a part of our life for so long that we didn't do it like normal people did, that if I go a couple of days, it doesn't even occur to me that I've gone a couple of days. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. It drives my wife nuts because I tell her, like, I only poop like once or twice a week. And she's like, what? That's not normal. And I'm like, it's my normal.
Did you saw the movie, I'm sure, Wolf of Wall Street? But in the book, so I read the book as well, and you may have, I don't know, but he talks about going to his doctor, and his doctor says to him, they're just trying to make sure everything is copacetic, and he says to him, are you regular in terms of going to the restroom? And he goes, yeah. The doctor goes, how often do you have a bowel movement? He goes, oh, well, once every 2 weeks, about the same as everybody else. Right? Just completely serious as hell. Every couple of weeks, like everyone else. And the doctor's like, most people do that 2 or 3 times a day. And the guy's like, oh shit, nobody goes to the bathroom 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, in Jordan Belfort's mind, that was really, really not normal,
Yeah. Yeah.
That book was so much better than the movie. I had a cellmate who was not burdened by deep thought. He was not a deep thinker. But while I'm reading that book, I'm on the top rack and I'm laughing my ass off. And the guy was older than me, so I gave him, the bottom bunk, and I'm just laughing hysterically. And he's like, what's so funny? I said, I'm going to read to you, because they said to him when he gets to rehab, I need you to list off all of the drugs that you're currently doing. And he goes, okay. It's an entire page of a book and half of the next page. And it's stuff that just because you've been to prison. It's like stuff that nobody on the street will have ever heard of. He was taking everything. He was taking psych meds. He was taking stuff to take him sideways, up, down. It was the most bizarre cocktail.
Junk bomb. That's what I call those guys.
Lord, bro. Just a garbage can. No breaks, Jordan. Like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. Hey, are we alone? Check this out. Get a look at this watch. How cool is that?
Oh, wow.
So that that bad boy is about 105, 106 years old.
Wow.
Really, 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 really cool watch, man. Just absolutely stunning. And I may have restored it.
That they could do that 100 years ago. Yeah.
It blows my mind, Casper. I swear to God, it blows my mind. And when you start to take them apart and play with them, and you
like how did they make those? How did they make the parts?
How about before electricity, brother? How about doing this in factories that didn't have electricity? So the components of this watch haven't changed since the first one they made. Like if you get a regular watch that doesn't, this happens to be a chronograph, but if you get like a regular 17 jeweled movement watch, the number of patents in there that go back to a guy named Abraham Louis Breguet, who patented basically everything in the wristwatch. I have often thought that he cut a deal with Satan, because like he invented the hairspring. He invented like all of the things that we just take for granted that are part of a watch. He created all of them. And he had to do it before it got dark, or he was working by a candle, or there was no electricity. He did this hundreds of years ago. It blows my mind. It really does. Something really weird going on in that cat's life. But that's what he was doing. 9 knee surgeries, says Jennifer Minton. God help us, man. Knee surgeries.
Oh yeah, I've had 2.
I've had
that was in my teens. That was in my teens.
Yeah, I've had 13, but I never had. All I ever had was them vacuuming things out.
You know how I hurt my knee when I was in high school?
How's that?
Everyone always like, oh, football? No, dodgeball.
It's a vicious game. Absolutely vicious game.
Yeah,
I'm not joking. One of the most vicious rites of passage for being a young boy on earth. There's not much like dodgeball. You know what they used to call it when I was in school? I kid you not.
Suicide.
Smear the queer. I'm not kidding. Oh. And the teacher would call it that. Like I'm not being.
Yeah. No.
Like she would
we
say,
called it smear the queer too.
Yeah, line up for smear the queer. What the hell world were we living in, bro? Like for real,
awesome one.
The perfect one. The one where they let us go outside and play and get dirty and fall down. I think that we need there needs to be a what's the word I'm looking for? A balance. Hold on, let me make sure I'm muted and everything, because I got 2 screws. There we go. I think there needs to be a balance of some kind. I really do think the kids need to go outside and get in trouble and fall down and do all of that stuff. You know something? Some of the names of the stuff from high school, I'm not joking at all. I look back on it now, and things that I thought were really normal in hindsight, I look back on now. We had a drill that we did every day, and I've heard since then that other coaches called it the egg beater. And what you basically had was 3 guys, and they would jump over each other, right?
Yeah.
And they would say,
Yeah.
okay. In the hick town that I grew up in, that drill was called the 3-peckered billy goat. I kid you not.
What? That's a long name for a drill.
The 3-peckered.
All right, let's get the 3-peckered billy goat going.
Yeah. And some of them, that's one that I can say here. And here's the crazy thing, right? So my coach would say that, but if you cursed on my team, like if you got caught throwing an F-bomb or whatever, you had to do these, they were 100-yard sprints, but you had to do them on just your hands and feet, like in a downward dog crawl. Try 1,000 yards of that, bro. Like he was vicious with it, but he could call it the 3-peckered billy goat. I never really, I look back on a lot of the stuff. I went to a really effed up high school, first of all, no joke.
Yeah.
Like one of the people that, I've had some issues from when I was a kid, and one of them was a teacher at my high school. Effed up teacher that has it. You know, I hear a crazy story too. I was on the lifeboat, and there's a person from my hometown that found the lifeboat, and I didn't know this person there, but I would have been pretty close in age to her kids. They were about 5 or 6 years older than me, so she knew who I was, but I didn't know her. But when she reached out to me and I told her who the teacher was. She just, after one of the talks that I did, and I talked about the fact that I had a teacher that was inappropriate with me, she reached out and said, is this who the teacher is? Like she knew who it was. She called it, which I found absolutely bizarre. You know, like you think all of these things are hidden and everything else. And she's like, yeah, I know exactly who did this to you, which was, I mean, honestly, just kind of earth shatter. And now that we've gone down that fun rabbit hole, that's been a good time. Paula Bentley says, we've made our children soft. You know something? Sadly, there's been a push. Now, the good news is, folks, that we're smarter than the average bears, right? We really are. This isn't the run-of-the-mill morning audience. You know what, man?
That's what I was looking for.
Johnny Scoville near freaking anything.
My Biscoffs.
I love Johnny, but now I've got all kinds of stuff that just doesn't seem to be plugged in. But that's all right. That's all right. He ain't heavy. Yeah, I have no idea what he did with my charger. That's all right though. When the battery dies, it'll just be on that one anyway.
Dude, I was freaking out right now. I couldn't find my Biscoffs.
So, what is it called?
Biscoffs?
Never heard of it. Am I?
Stop it.
No, I'm dead serious. Never heard of it. Am I living in the dark age? Am I losing it?
Everyone put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard of Biscoffs. Put a 2 in the chat if you've never heard of them.
See, you might.
I promise you, not one person's gonna put a 2 in there.
Well, I would have put a 2 in there.
You're not a person.
No,
you're a machine.
That's right. And I found my charger. I don't even hate Johnny anymore.
Sherry, what?
Look at that.
Okay.
Look at that.
Okay.
See that? Jane Aldrich put a 1, which means that she knew about them before she was formed. From the very earliest days, from the dawn of man. Hey, you know, I heard what do you think about replacing the whiskey bottle with a tattoo gun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was thinking of some of the things because someone had wrote that in as a. I've always liked the classic looking big one.
Our friend John suggested it when he first started, and I'm totally down. I'm sorry, I just haven't had the time to do it.
You're good.
I will make sure I do that today.
Yeah, you're good. The UK here, UK hasn't heard of it either. Where are those things made, Casper?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, but we're gonna find out everything we need to know about the Biscoff right now. They're made in San Francisco, and that's kind of a bummer. But this is the official cookie of Delta Airlines.
Wait a second, I've had it. I mean, I fly Delta a lot.
They're like Biscoff.
I had to have had them. I mean, I fly a lot on. I've had to have them, but I don't recognize the packaging. They're made by Lotus. They must put something different on the airline.
Yeah, Delta has their own thing, and they say Delta on the cookie itself. I don't know what came first, Delta or Biscoff. Like, I don't know if Biscoff is a Delta No, there's no way they have a cookie factory.
Look at that. I fell in love with Biscoff in India. I got a question for you. Do you remember the federal cookies? The feds got this deal that they started buying these cookies out of India that came in these little like foiled packages, and you'd get like 2 cookies per package, or maybe 3 cookies per package, or something like that. And it was, and they came in like 4 flavors, which was amazing because each one of them tasted like feces. So I never really understood the outside packaging, like what that correlated to. You'd get a yellow colored one it didn't taste like a lemon or anything. There was nothing. It didn't correspond to anything. They were the worst cookies on earth. And I knew something was up because the first day at work, I go in the back and there's 60,000 of these. And I'm in prison, right? So I'm thinking to myself, why are they not stealing these things? By the duffel bag, right? And I remember getting patted down on the way out. I didn't eat any, but I had probably, 25 packs on me. And the cop patted me down and pulled one out of my pocket and stuck it right back in. And about halfway to my cell, I was like, "These have got to suck." Like he almost gave me the look like, "You want to go back and grab some more before you do this?" You get a backpack. I'm not tripping on you. Get a backpack. Yeah, John, I saw that goatee. I actually showed a picture of it to Johnny Scoville. See, Robert says, just what I want, a cookie that tastes like cheese. Yeah, it wasn't. Well, see, here's the thing with prison. You get things in one of 2 ways. Either the product itself is really bad and it tastes so bad, or it didn't sell or whatever, and that's why you're getting it. The other option is, like when I was in Tucson, we got Dorito products all the time. The best of the best, whatever you like from Dorito, we got all of it. You just didn't want to get a good look at that expiration date. You could get Doritos, but you still saw, like 19 was still on the outside of some of the packaging and stuff. And I'm not even being funny. They were like, expired in 1999 or whatever.
Really old. Yep.
Yeah, you're in there in 2013.
There was something else that we used to get that was really old, and I was like, this can't be good. There's no way. I don't remember what it was. I just remember laughing that it was 5 years past the expiration date.
Well, sometimes, believe it or not, Blue Bunny ice cream. When I was in the SMU, we would get Blue Bunny. And I was like, how do you let dairy? You know what I mean? We're not talking about something that, sits on a shelf like a Twinkie. I mean, we were getting dairy, and the dates were real. And I guess if it's frozen, it shouldn't matter or whatever, but still kind of funky, man.
Milk that's frozen and thawed, it really freaks me out.
How about our Pisa friends making cheese?
Milk? Yeah, or making cheese.
Yeah,
it's cheese. It's cheese.
Yeah, they would make cheese all the time inside. Hey, and guys,
I was against it. I was against it, but you add a little salt,
or the packets.
Delicious.
From a ramen noodle. Like they would take chili, and they would add just enough chili powder in there to make chili cheese. I'm not going to lie, I've eaten a bunch of it, but I remember being in there, and they were, and it
melts good.
It melts. It's real cheese. There's prison cheese that does not melt, which is fascinating. Well, no, I mean, I remember we had pizza, and I said to my boss, I'm like, can you explain to me how we put this thing into an oven for hours and the cheese doesn't melt? And he goes, well, it's a different type of cheese. I'm like, yeah, it's poison. Like it's not real.
Yeah.
And he said, it's because we're on a conveyor belt. If we had enough time to leave it in as long as it's actually supposed to be in there, it would melt. So I said to him, I'll bet you one of those Newports that you can't get this cheese to melt. Yeah. And we had that bad boy in there all day long. I'm not joking. Like from the time I got there until the time I left, which was after dinner. Nothing.
Yeah. Hold on real quick. We need to talk to Mariana about a question that we had. Okay. Hey, babe.
Hi.
Hey, so real quick, do you ever get complaints from any of the people that you guys do surgery on? You guys do like 30 surgeries a day, right?
Yeah.
Complaints that they feel anything or that they're awake?
Like I would say like maybe one a month. Our company is just really good. Like we're very cognizant of not making it feel like that. Like when patients come out, they get a snack and a water, and all the things. But I mean, we do have a schedule to keep so that we can service the most people
No.
because
No, that they're awake during the surgery or that they're...
No. If somebody's really, really nervous, we'll give them extra meds. They'll get an IV in the OR. But a lot of times the doctor will just talk them through the surgery, and then that helps calm them down because then they know what to expect. So he'll be like, hey, you're going to hear this noise, or you're going to feel this sensation, or...
Oh, so they are awake.
Yeah. Yep. You're under like light anesthesia. You can still talk, move your eyes, everything. You're just but you don't remember it.
Okay. Yeah, that's
like,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. See you later, alligator. Peace out, Girl Scout. All right.
So you were so what you guys were talking about was anesthesia awareness.
Yeah.
So I have been knocked out and brought back. I mean, as
could you guys hear that? Her talking?
Yeah, I could hear.
Oh, okay.
I could. I don't know about the rest of them, but I could for sure. And what I find, I've never had it happen to me, but they made a movie about it and everything else. And I've probably been knocked out and brought back pretty close to 50 times. I mean, I've had a lot of procedures, a lot of surgeries. The closest I ever came was during a procedure that I could hear what people were saying, but I didn't feel a damn thing. I wasn't in any pain, but I remembered, distinctly things that were said during the operation. And I called it, and I talked to the doctor about it. I mentioned to the doctor that I heard him say X, Y, and Z, and he was like, damn. He was like, were you in pain? And I was like, nah, I couldn't feel a damn thing. Nothing. Yeah, we heard. She's sweet. Robin Bliss. Excellent.
Yeah, she has her moments, but just kidding.
Right? That's funny as hell.
I don't want to say, yeah.
I dropped that in the car once. I was with Johnny, and we had a business partner with us and his wife, and they were talking about somebody that had a terrible marriage, right? And the person and the wife goes, can you imagine being in that kind of situation and just sitting and complaining about your mate 24 hours a day, just nonstop all the time? I go, yeah, you should hear him talking about her husband. like she was hacking on the, and I thought it was the funniest freaking thing in the entire world, and nobody else thought it was particularly funny. Like she looked at him and did you talk about me? And I was like, no, I'm kidding. Like that was a punchline, and she just wouldn't roll with it at all. She couldn't get by I was just trying to make people. It was terribly uncomfortable. Didn't go over well at all. But it happens, it happens. And speaking of I also said something once to a nurse on the way out, and she intentionally hurt me when bringing me back out from anesthesia. I don't know what I said to her, but I must have said, like, cursed at her or said something foul, because she came in and said, this is morphine. It's going to take all the pain away. And I said, oh, thank you so much. I just had my throat done. My tonsils removed. They lasered out the back of my throat. And then she said, and this is Dilaudid. It might make you sick. And by this point in my life, I'm a junkie. I'm like, why are you mixing Dilaudid and morphine? I was like, no. And then she was putting it in there, and I just instantly, it's the only time I've ever thrown up on an opiate, ever. And I got violently ill on the back of the throat that had just had surgery.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever thrown up on an opiate. Maybe. No, I don't think I ever have.
You're like, that's like that's a rarity, among people addicted to opiates. That's a rarity.
Yeah.
Most people have vomited a lot. Like, the people, you've seen them, like every time, every time they fix.
When dudes would throw up for like 4 days on Suboxone, taking a tiny piece.
Why would you do it? That could never make any sense to me.
Yeah.
When people would say to me, oh, it's worth it, I'd go, oh, you know what? I wish that had happened to me the first time I did it. I wish I had vomited all over the place. My life would be a lot different. I don't like vomiting. If that had happened to me, I would have been out. I'd have been like, you got to do this every single time you get wasted. Why would I do that?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. That's a wrap.
And I'm a terrible vomiter. I'm like, not crying, but just like this sucks.
M. Pocus, this is, and I promise you, I'm not glorifying this substance, but it is a fascinating substance in that if you do it intravenously, you will feel your heart slow down instantly. Like the second it gets into you, you feel your heart rate instantly begin to slow down to the point.
It's a really different rush.
It's a very different, and I've never seen anybody who did it the first time that didn't kind of panic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not something. And I remember by the first time my friend Jack did it, I was at the end of my my run of being a junkie. I was, I mean, honestly, I was an old man, and he's like, "Come on, dude, let me shoot some." I'm like, "Dude, don't." So he crushes up 2 of them, and I thought to myself, instead of saying "you're good," I'm not going to do that. So he banged it. And he went, "Dude," I went, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "I swear to God, I feel my heart slowing down." I'm like, "Oh, that's not good." You know what I mean? Like I was just really like playing into it bad. You know, I'm like, "Oh, that ain't good, bro. You want me to take you to the hospital?" He's like, "No, is this bad?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's bad. It's really bad."
Yeah. Yeah.
Had a pretty good time with it. Yeah. I'm not. I'm not a nice person. I've gotten a lot better. Well, I haven't, but I could if you worked with me. Yes, hydromorphone. It is usually among people who are addicted to opiates, especially people that use syringes. It's usually everybody's favorite. Dilaudid is it's got characteristics that the other opiates don't have. That it's like, I don't know, it's like an opiate. But
if I could do, if I could do methadone and then do Dilaudids, that way I'd have the legs from the methadone and then just like the rush from the Dilaudid. I don't know.
But no, you know what the perfect one was, and it was around for a really brief period of time, and then it's gone. But they put a Contin time release on hydromorphone. They had a substance they called Opana, and I
never tried an Opana.
Neither, bro. Never got a chance to because it didn't stay around very long, and I think we were
swore by him.
Oh my Lord! Well, I mean, think about what you're doing. They came in like you could get them in 30s, and you could even get them in higher doses than that. So you figure Dilaudids came in 4s and 8s. So I mean, if you 30's a buttload of Dilaudid, and
2s, 4s, and 8s.
Yeah, and they had but who's doing it too? The the Contin time release.
I do like 4 2s.
Bring that out through the entire day. But of course, what everybody did.
Hello, Reese.
Hello, Reese. What everybody did was strip off the outside of that coating, just like they would do with an oxy, and it would just And when they brought it in front of Congress, and Congress was like, "There's no reason to make this. There's no reason for this to be in business." And I mean, honestly, that does make sense. I'm going to do that. Thank you, babe. She's been, she really has been very good about trying to keep me from injuring myself more or being stupid.
Yeah.
I was going to say she's really been riding me, but Reese. She'd have run with that.
Yeah, she would have ran with that.
She'd have just said something completely foul. So instead of that, I just said, she's really been fantastic about trying to help me.
She has
not injure myself more because.
Let me run down. So I have therapy today at 11. I did tell her I was going to be a little bit late. It's literally only 3 minutes away from here.
Well,
my therapy was at 9 o'clock. What's that?
We just leave a little early.
Yeah, I know.
Breaking news real quickly. R. Kelly's appeal in front of he lost. His appeal has been, he got the wah, wah.
Are you serious?
It's official. R. Kelly today found out he got the wah, wah. So for those of you who are big R. Kelly fans, yes, that's what I'm talking about. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Pretty happy about R. Kelly staying in, I'm not going to lie. And I think there was some other news. Oh, and shout out to the person in the crowd last night that said Daryl, the guy that Daryl Brooks, the guy that Waskegan, or Waskega, whatever, he drove through that Christmas parade.
Yeah.
Turns out he found out that all of that stuff we say about prison, that is actually true. And he got, I don't celebrate anybody getting R-worded, but he did. I do celebrate the beat down that he got before that because that's justice. I don't think being essayed is justice for anybody.
No, nope. But this is for the beat down.
Yes. Okay. Sorry about your luck, but the moral of the story is when you do the kind of things that you do, had he gone into court and acted like a stand-up cat and just fallen on his sword, If he had gone in day one and just said, look, I'd like to plead guilty, the last thing in the world I want to do is put any victim through any of this, bring them into court. He had victims who lost family members, and he's got them in there doing cross-examination. The guy that ran over your mom is going to be in there talking to you. What he did brought the wrath of a lot of people on him, and that's prison justice. We wouldn't have done the R-word thing in our car, but that's their business.
No, but he'd be unalived.
Yeah, but they'd cut his throat. So here's what they're doing instead. They have decided he cannot be kept safe anywhere in the state. Now, I got news for you. Mr. Brooks ain't going to blend in nowhere.
No.
Follow me? He will not be able to blend in anywhere, and he can't blend in. They tried this with Drew Peterson. You know, that same reason. They'll drop him somewhere, and people will go, God, dude kind of looks familiar. But he will not be able to deal with not being Daryl Brooks. Honestly,
yeah.
Just like Drew had to be Drew. He could have shut his mouth and just.
But I promise you, what happened to him broke his spirit.
Oh,
I've seen it. It broke his spirit, and that's exactly what it's. I mean, the upside. I get. I don't know.
That's what it's designed to do, and that's why the Diddy stuff is so horrible, because that kind of that particular kind of beatdown will absolutely destroy a human being's soul.
Yeah,
it can.
So, real quick, I have a bunch of stuff I want to talk about, but I'm just gonna choose just a couple of things.
Produce that.
I have so much to talk about, but what I really want to do is share a story out of man, do I really want to share this story? Out of Wyoming. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to share it. I know that's
not out of your hometown. Because you figure if you do a show on Wyoming, I'm going to just say you're from Wyoming for the rest of the time we're together.
No, it's really bad. A mom unalived a couple of her kids, and I'm just really trying to wrap my mind around it, and I'm because it's hard. It's hard because, like, okay, what was she going through? You know what I mean? She looks really normal. She looks really normal. And you know what? And a lot of the comments on Facebook are like, yeah, hope you burn and blah, blah. And she tried to unalive herself, but she wasn't successful. She called 911 on herself, and she wasn't, I'm just going to play the audio of this, can I do that?
You do whatever you want.
Okay. I know. I'm just going to play this audio real quick. Oops, I'm sorry. I did the wrong thing.
Update February 11th at 8:26 p.m. Bighorn County Sheriff Ken Blackburn has confirmed to Nonstop Local that the mother passed away earlier today around noon. Sheriff Blackburn also confirmed the mother's identity as Tranielle Harshman. Nonstop Local reporter Ren Wadsworth spoke to Byron residents and neighbors nearby who said they were shocked and surprised by the incident. And it was heartbreaking to see a tragedy like this happen to what they believe to be a happy family. Wadsworth also briefly spoke with the family's father, who said his wife was not a monster, but a person dealing with her own struggles, and asked for compassion amidst the catastrophe. Update February 11th at 12:45 p.m. The Bighorn County Sheriff's Office has released additional information on the shooting that occurred on Monday afternoon. According to a press release from the BHCSO, a 911 call was received around 1:30 p.m. reporting gunshots in a home on East Shoshone Street. The caller, later identified as the mother of the children, reported that her daughters had been shot. She indicated that 2 children were upstairs in cribs and 2 were downstairs in a shared bedroom. The dispatcher tried to keep the woman on the line, but the call was disconnected and the mother said she was going to do the same to herself, the release said. Law enforcement, including the Lovell Police Department and Wyoming Highway Patrol, quickly responded to the scene. Officers found 2 female children, ages 2 and 9, dead from gunshot wounds. 2 other children, ages 2 and 7, were found alive but critically injured.
So basically why I wanted to share this, I'm going to put a link.
Mother did not die, because in the beginning it said that.
Oh my gosh, this won't stop. What is going on with my computer? Okay. I'm sorry. I just wanted to share this. So
the mother is not deceased, right? Because that's what it said in the beginning of that audio. was that the mother was deceased?
She passed away this morning.
Okay.
Yep. The dad, only one of the children made it, and the dad has lost 3 children, his wife, and only has 1 child. Anyway, there is a GoFundMe for him, and I'm gonna put that in the description. I'm not, I can put a link to the story too. Get all the facts before you donate, or if you donate. Always do not take my word for. I don't even know if I'm going to donate anything. I want to know more about what was going. Maybe he was such an abusive.
Maybe he's the reason. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, but they seem like a really normal family. There's no drugs involved, nothing like that. I just compassion for the situation. I don't know. It's the whole thing just blew my mind, and it always does. And I don't.
How about did you see the story about the 2 cops from Jersey?
No.
Husband and wife cops from New Jersey, right? I believe the state troopers, but you'd have to look that one up to be sure. But these people work and have for a long time as cops. And while they're doing that, they're producing CP in their house and selling the stuff.
I have heard of that.
These stories, man, it's like, here's the good news. The good news is that we're hearing these stories because they've been going on forever. This is not new. It's not that human tea is now an issue in 2025. It's that we have, as a society, said, something, we're not going to stand by anymore and allow this to go on, in industries or in whatever. This has been so widespread for so long that I think that now this is popping, right? This is the volcano finally blowing its top, so to speak. And thank you to Ryan Reynolds and your lovely wife, the Wicked Witch of the West, for helping us get a really good look at just how skeezy Hollywood is. Did you see the
because they were the golden couple? They were
no question,
sweet and kind, and they were really the golden couple of Hollywood. They just thought they were just so. And now we can really see that that's all fake.
A facade for sure. Yeah,
a facade. Sure. Yeah.
I did I made a thumbnail. I didn't use it because I hurt myself, but the thumbnail had a picture of them. It was a black screen and had a picture of them nicely, and it said, Ryan Reynolds and Blake. This couple is Hollywood, right? And Hollywood sucks. That's really what it comes down to. Is Quib says, I'm still bummed out about it. And you're not alone. A lot of people are really bummed out.
Super bummed out about Ryan Reynolds, especially.
Yeah, because everybody thought that this was a really cool couple. Everybody really did. But what we're seeing is how this industry. So yesterday, you probably saw it, but yesterday somebody leaked out, and Tony over at Popcorn Planet did a Anthony Signor over at Popcorn Planet did a hell of a show on it. But she was on a panel for Forbes magazine. It was like Empowered Women or something. It was a panel to talk about the empowerment of women. And she went on and talked about how she'll lie. She'll do whatever she has to do to take over a script and take over a production. Honestly, if you were a script writer and you wanted to write the smoking gun scene, this is it. She went on there and talked exactly. It was the blueprint for what she has done to Baldoni. And this was filmed, before any of this stuff ever came out. It makes her look really, if it's possible, Casper, it makes her look worse.
Wow. Yeah.
If that's possible.
What else do I got? These are all news stories I have right here. I had some good stuff. And then
you
ones that I
lay out back.
Ones that I highlighted, and I had an outline for the show, but Johnny and I started talking, and we just kept talking.
I love that, by the way. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no, it was super cool. I want to do something with just have a conversation with him.
Well, to everybody, this is our morning show and our after the bars channel. But to everybody that's just sort of stepped up and helped me while I've been down, if you know anything about YouTube, if you stop making videos, the algorithm doesn't treat you well. You have to kind of continue to do what you're doing, and for everybody to step up while I was down, and to just do a smoking job. I mean, you and Reese killed it, and then you and Johnny killed it, and it's just been it's been crazy. It shows the talent, honestly, that we've got sort of laying around. You guys are fairly amazing.
Thanks, man.
No, I mean that. And as a speaker, that's a rare feeling too. You know,
we're the Four Horsemen, brother.
No question. No question. John says, show funny court fails. I'll tell you what, man. I love the fact, people, do you know what this means? The fact that he can do the things that he can do means that we will be able to stream court cases in their entirety. You know, when Keefe D's case comes up, holy hell, tell me you don't want to stream that. You know, we can actually hear and go live and talk about exactly what you're seeing. Other channels do this. I didn't avoid it because I don't like the concept. I avoided it because I don't have the skills. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty good time for us to do.
I want to tell John that, hey, John, I did see your email and I am going to respond to it today. Yesterday, do you guys remember said I had like an emergency and I stepped away for a second. I was on my phone. They were actually, it was our town's repo man called me and told me that my truck came on his repo list. And I was like, luckily I tattooed the guy, right? So he's like, I'm just giving you a courtesy call. Your truck came on my computer today. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, man, I just talked to him on Friday, said, you know, when I get my taxes, I'll handle it. And I didn't want to say anything yesterday because I didn't want people to think I'm like trying to ask for money or anything. That's not the situation. So basically I called the bank yesterday, and this is why I didn't get to my emails, John. I'm just kind of explaining that. So I called the bank yesterday and they're like, well, you could send us $600 right now and we'll take it off the thing. And you got to make sure you have this much by, 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, let me get back to you. So I hung up and I called back. When I called back to say, yeah, I can do that, I got a different chick. You could tell she was a black chick, and she was from Inglewood, California. And we started talking about California, and she's like, Sugar, they didn't tell you anything about a rewrite? I said, no one said anything about a rewrite. She's like, man, I'm going to rewrite this for you right now. You ain't got to give us nothing till the beginning of May. And so she rewrote my entire loan. Yeah.
How cool is that?
My payments lower. My truck's off the repo list.
Hey, shout out to that girl. That's fantastic. Good for you.
Yeah, because I've been making my payments for 3 years on time. And so, but I'm in a weird transition of retiring and becoming a YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
So, man, I just thought that was so cool, man. And I was like, I had the best day after that, like yesterday, except Mariana kind of had a meltdown last night about being overstimulated. But other than that, like, man, people are so cool, man. And I kept telling her, thank you. And she's like, well, you're just lucky you got me on the phone, And she was so cool. Literally. She'd been with the company for 10 years. And this is what she said. She's like, this is your first rewrite. She's like, I got customer. We've rewrote their loans like 12 to 15 times.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
I was with Johnny, and he had a van. We were really badly strung out and stealing for $700 or $800 a day to just take care of a habit. It was bad. We were not doing well. Everything we had was getting repoed. It was just all awful. We were in this condo, but the repo man comes, and I go walking outside, and he's just starting to hook the van up, and like, we can't lose this van. We need it to steal. And I said to my brother, I was like, hey, I'm killing this dude. Like, I'm serious. He's not taking this van. So I go walking outside, right? And I'm ready to just hit this dude with a bat. And I'm grabbing a weapon from inside the garage and like marching up on him. And I go, hey, what are you doing, man? Drop that thing. Get that off your lift. And he's like, oh, man, I'm glad you're home. He goes, maybe I knocked on the wrong door. I'm like, I didn't hear anything, man. And he goes, oh, I don't have to take this. And he goes, if you make the payment right now. And I go, how much is the payment? And he's like, well, you'd have to pay in full. So it was like $3,800 or something. And I'm like, dude, it's a Sunday. Where the hell do you think I'm going to get $3,800 on a Sunday to keep you from repo and this? And he's like, well, you can't write me a check. And I'm like, man, I get it. Check? Yeah, hell, dude. I'm like, shit, man, I thought you needed money. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. I walked in. I'm like, checkbook. Give me a checkbook. We're good. And he's like, I don't think I got a checkbook in here. I'm not joking you, Casper. We're going through drawers. Right? We get a checkbook and the dates, you know what I mean? Like these things are from decades ago. You know what I mean? And it's got the name of a woman that he probably has been divorced or hasn't dated in a decade and a half. And I like that. Listen, I'm putting 300 on this for you because you've been an ace. So just keep that. Thank you. I'm like, put that in the garage, shut the garage door, and the van stays there until until we get caught.
Yeah.
But yeah, I almost had a heart attack. He's like, I'm like, man, where am I going to get check? Oh, hell, yeah. I thought you needed money. Oh, I can write you a check. Sure.
Checks. We got checks.
Yeah, I'll put $2,000 more on this. Get yourself a nice wristwatch. Take your girl out. What else? What else do we need? It was awful. Really,
yeah.
The good old days, you know. I remember hiding vehicles from the repo man for chunks of my life.
Well, and that's what I told one of our other friends who was willing to help me out financially to get the truck, keep it or whatever. And he said, but look, if you decide to have repo, make sure you call our buddy Frankie, because he gets a commission, I said, no, I'm hiding my truck. I'm not giving it up willingly. Yeah.
He's your friend off to how to get your vehicle. Hey man, you're trying to repo my car. I'll tell you where I'm parking it. Have you bumped your head?
Yeah. I'm like, I have integrity, but it's, come on. But yeah, anyway, that all worked out. So, God is great, man. And I know that I was blessed by getting that girl on the line because that is my higher power at work, doing his work because look, I feel like I'm doing my best and trying to do everything right and having integrity and providing for my family and loving for, weighing out what's important to spend, money on when times are tough. And it's food, and it's my daughter's little stuffy, $5 stuffy if she wants one, I would forgo my truck for their happiness any day of the week. So
the evolution of man, right?
Yeah.
What's his name? Drew a couple of great pictures that how we evolve inside the brain is one of the most fascinating things. I was talking to my fiance in bed last night, which is odd because we're thousands or at least 1,000 miles apart. But we were doing a little pillow talk, and I was actually talking about the days, when we were locked up, and how much different the core of who you are is the core of who you are. It really is. Yep. And I think it's why you end up either connecting and clicking with somebody inside or not clicking with somebody inside, because they can BS the socks off you. You know what I mean? They could tell you the stories about the 6 Escalades they had on the street and how they had, 25 chicks and, all of the stories that guys can BS. But you get really good at kind of getting to who the person is, especially if you're sort of, in close quarters. And 210 days locked in a cell where the lights don't go off was plenty of time. But it's so wild to see where you are today compared to where you were then, both of us. I mean, honestly,
sure.
but it's obviously it sticks out way more when you see it in somebody else. But it's honestly, it's just amazing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it blows me away sometimes too. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah,
it makes no sense. Thing, though. It really is. It's a beautiful thing. And I remembered the name of somebody, and I'm dropping the guy's name because he wouldn't effing care. I promise you. Do you remember Larry Rady?
Oh yeah.
From AZ.
Animal. His nickname was Animal, and he was the head of the.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he started allegedly. He started that branch. He and Bruce Lowry were the two.
Bruce Lowry. Yep.
How about that? Yep. So I got him as a celly. So after you left, 2 days after you left, I got Larry as a celly. And he would come in and do burpees, and they were the softest. I mean, you've never seen a burpee that would have made you laugh more than this dude's. And he would do like 11 of them after breakfast. And I mean, it's just the saddest old man looking burpee. Like it, I guess it's a burpee kind of a thing. And then he would stand up and he would do the Karate Kid pose, right? And he had to be like 60 at the time, 58 or 59, whatever. And he'd go, I'll make you a captain, brother. He's like, just let me punch you as hard as I can once in the suck hole. And I go, yeah, I'm going to pass, brother. But
I'll smash that dude, man.
He was softer than hospital cotton.
And they used to line up to carry his bags and like swing off his nuts. Yeah, and look, I know he's the one who talked to SIS about that cell phone I had. I know he is, dude.
Well, that whole thing, the way everything went down with him, he's the dumbest person I ever did time with. And I get him on he's in my cell. He gets the dude on the phone and he's talking to him. And the guy says to him, hey, the dude that runs SIS and he's the gang specialist for the entire country. Somehow we ended up with him on our yard. But, he goes, that guy called the house to ask questions about you. He says to Larry. And Larry says to him, you know what that guy needs in his life? A hooker. Get him a hooker. And make it a black one. Get him a black hooker. And he's just talking. But it sounds, and as he's repeating it over and over again, you got to make sure. You know what I'm saying, right? You got to make sure it's a black hooker. And I'm like, hey, dude. And he put his hand over. I'm like, it sounds like you're ordering a hit. Like, I don't know whether you realize what you're saying, but it sounds really bad. It doesn't sound like, and he goes, dude, no one's going to think that. And then he gets back on the phone like this, and not 4 seconds later, they're at the door. Everybody cuff up. They come in, they take him out. He spends like 3 hours down there and he comes back up. He goes, dude, they thought I was trying to get someone to kill him. I'm like, yeah, that's what I said, bro. It sounded like you were ordering a hit, you genius. Everybody here thought that's what you were doing. He was one of the best guys I ever met. But they sent him to Tucson, to the USP, and he refused to walk the yard. So he was there for like 4 months, and then they sent him back. And I get him again because I've been there a damn year almost. So they bring him back to my cell. And then they said to him, all right, hey, but he's not there 4 days. They go, pack your stuff. You're getting shipped out. He's like, finally, swear to you, they sent him back to Tucson. They sent him back to Tucson USP.
That should tell you something, brother.
Yeah.
That should tell you something.
They didn't want to send him to a regular yard. I think from there they sent him to Terre Haute. Yeah. If he'd have came to wherever I was, I promise you he'd have been done. It was a wrap for anyway. Yeah.
Good times. Sorry, guys.
That's how
I just want to apologize
to his name last night. I flashed to his name last night. I'm like,
Larry Rady. Yep.
Long-haired Larry.
Let's get Larry a hooker, a black hooker. No,
dude, the way he was saying it, man, and I'm going, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, kill it. Dude.
Well, I am calling a hit. There's a green light on Larry Rady.
There you go. Green light. Funny, isn't it, man? Can you imagine, honestly, though? You got guys that are 55, 65 years old, sitting around in a cell having a meeting about, are we going to green light this guy? Is he in the hat? Is he in the hat? Like they're sitting around having these conversations like it's friggin' like they're in a club and they got the cool handshake and all of the other.
Are you doing a live this afternoon?
I'm gonna try to get at least one show up. You got something you want to do?
Yeah, when I get done with therapy and I come back and get settled in, I just have some news stories I want to do, and I have some other thing. We can do it on the lifeboat. It doesn't matter.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because I do have to go to therapy today. But man, I have some really good stuff in the hopper, like some really good stuff. Like I want to talk about. I want to talk about USAID. I want to talk about Justin Baldoni. I want to talk about Trump getting rid of the penny.
Yeah, I would. I would love that. I think that's a great call. I promise, Reese, I will take it easy. And Reese, while we're all here and we're all friends, it's Chica Cherry Cola. She does this because I never get any names right, and Reese, always sort of has to. It's Chica Cherry Cola, not Chica Cherry Cola, but Chica Cherry Cola. See that?
That's a bug tussle thing.
Well, no, but Chica Cherry Cola, for whatever reason, Real Table Reese doesn't get that name right. All of the other names I get wrong, but she screws this one up, so I thought I would fix it.
Oh, okay.
They have been talking about getting rid of the penny for years. The question is going to be, how long are you going to have to hold on to a penny for it to be worth a nickel? And they're saying probably about 100 years. Now, I've never been a big fan of the penny. It always seemed to me to be a wasted piece of currency.
Well, it costs a lot to make, and it just never gets used anymore. I mean, the only reason why it gets used is because it's still there.
Right?
So
absolutely. I'm sorry, the shaking the head was for Reese. Hold on.
I know.
So
both of us.
But you know, when you start saying stuff like, "Hey, this is 1995," those numbers start to get huge over a long period of time. And do you know one of the reasons that everything was always 1995, or four easy payments of 1995? Because back in the day when we used to rip people off for a living, Visa used to, if you wanted Visa to come in and fight a case for you because you thought you got ripped off for fraud or whatever, the cutoff used, if it was below $20, Visa just didn't do anything about it. If somebody really made a stink about it or whatever, Visa would just pay it. It wasn't worth Visa's time to fight and do all of that. So the threshold that everybody kept used to always be below $20. They never would go above $20. Visa was going to actually make noise and do all of those things, and that sort of became an issue.
I need to remote start my truck. Hold on.
I'm sorry, what, pimp?
I got to start. It's 31 below right now, so I want to remote start my truck so it's warm when I get to it.
You know, you got to take your camera out at 31 below. You got to take your camera out, take some water, throw it up in the air. It should snow down. It's always a great video to make.
Yeah, I took Hazley to school this morning, and the truck didn't have time to warm up, and we were freezing in there, man.
Tana Luigi from Great Britain says, I remember the halfpenny, the halfpenny. If you haven't got a penny, then a halfpenny will do. And if you haven't got a halfpenny,
I love that.
God bless you, gentlemen. God bless. Yeah, the halfpenny. I think I have a couple just because if I see something weird, I say.
I love her. I love a lot of the photos of our listeners and our viewers. Oh, speaking of listening, I just wanted to tell everyone we are on Spotify also. It's the After the Bar Morning Mayhem Show. So you can catch, I've uploaded the first 2 episodes. I'm going to upload the rest today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah.
They used to be a bar called Nichols in Salt Lake City.
We have a Nichols here.
And they would sell wings for 5 cents a piece. And they have a challenge that, you know, no one can eat the wings. And I ate them. Go figure, right? It's that Scoville thing. And the guy said, I've never seen anybody actually get through an entire order of these wings. And he's like, I don't know how you did it. And I was like, how do you make them this hot? I had never had anything. This was long before the Carolina Reaper, and it just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, I don't understand how you make them this hot. And he goes, listen, man, I'll tell you. He goes, I've never told anybody. He said, but I'll tell you. He goes, and it's just something that we buy. He's like, everybody buys it, but you're supposed to cut it with water, right? So it's like you take this sauce and you add X amount of water, whatever. And he said, and his boss adds butter instead of water. And it just becomes this napalm crap that sticks to everything. And it's the hottest, gnarliest. Looking back on it, it was still really hot. I mean, even with all the stupid stuff I've done now, because I'm Johnny Scoville's little brother, they were still really, really hot wings. But I've done some. Do you like spicy food?
I do.
Yeah. Then we'll have to send you out some peanuts. They're really and you'll have to.
Well, I mean, I don't want to eat a peanut that's gonna send me to the emergency room. I mean,
no, I won't send you to the ER. You'll wish you were dead, but only for probably 15 minutes. You know what I mean? It's not a long, drawn out, hateful thing. And I don't want to pull the you ain't got a man in your family card or do something like that because I'm better than that. But just know it's in there. Just know it's on the shelf. Like if I hear you
loud and clear, brother. I hear you loud and clear.
All right, you got to get to your appointment. Don't be late. This is therapy.
Man, but we got to do a show today because I'm not done hanging out with. I didn't get to talk to anybody in the chat. You know what I mean? I'm missing out.
I'll be. What time do you figure you're going to be done?
I'll be done by 12.
Okay,
So,
then you heard that, people. We're going to be sometime between 12 and 1 o'clock then.
okay, awesome.
All right, be looking for it, people. Thank you.
It's goodbye, but not goodbye, huh?
And take us out, would you? Take
All
us
right,
out.
brother.
Cool. Out.